We will eventually have all unbelievers and unworthy walled in into the same areas referred to as the lakes of fire. The areas will then be migrated together into one area. Death and hell are thrown into the lake of fire because there is no hell in heaven, and the people in the lake need it for a place to go when they die. We take suggestions, not criticism, and will consider ideas that are helpful to the progress of the kingdom. This earthquake will be leaving all in ruin. I will do right. I don't want to be false. I am not afraid of anyone, for God is with me and will rescue me. God has appointed me over nations and kingdoms to uproot and tear down, to destroy and overthrow, to build and to plant. God has asked me to pour disaster out on all who live in the land. God is watching me. I am setting up Omar to be the abomination that causes desolation. Iranian-owned house in San Diego for Heaven's Gate. The kingdom is parceled out to the people under the whole heaven. Jerusalem bears God's name, now the world does. Arabs, don't be mad at me. I came for you also. By calling the world Jerusalem, we are all Jews and bear God's name. The time of prophecy is done. Now is the kingdom building time. I can see why Jesus is better than a prophet. So am I. Muhammad said no other prophet from God was so none would come and give false prophecy and mess up the times. The next person is Jesus. No one who hates others is in the kingdom. This is a kingdom of love, not hate. If you want to hate, go live in Satan's kingdom. The church is supposed to be the kingdom, but it's not solid enough because it's all divided. It excludes some and includes others, and is not involved in government. It's only on Sundays, and there are too many doctrines. Only Satan could have divided the church the way it is, and divide Jew, Muslim, and Christian. I will polarize the entire world. The church is a transitional kingdom. Christians hating Jews is wrong. They gave us Jesus and are God's chosen people. Only have hate against those that have hate, because I want them to love. Judgment areas are to be outside of the kingdom, so the unclean persons are not brought in. If a person is judged unclean, then he will go through a 7-day period, and then will be ceremonially clean. 7-day period can be inside the camp, but away from his home. If a person joins the kingdom late, then the 7-day period washing is necessary. A nation is made holy by the priest blessing it in the name and blood of Jesus upon acceptance. A residence is made holy when the dweller dedicates it to the Lord in the name and blood of Jesus. Farmland is made holy when given to the kingdom in the name and blood of Jesus. Technically, we are non-profit, so all is tax exempt. We will not support the beast. If you don't want to be part of the kingdom because you hate someone, then you really don't deserve to be in the kingdom. If you do what the Lord tells you to do and you work for His will and walk in His ways, then you will be atoned. News will spread like fire that Jesus is here. Ceremonially cleansings, you pay what you can afford. Ceremonial cleansings are for sin, behavior, laws, entering the kingdom, and contact with the unclean. If you are pronounced unclean, you are required to be ceremonially cleaned. The 7-day isolation is spent in prayer to clean the inside. If someone enters the kingdom, the 7 days is also to make living arrangements for them. If a person is pronounced unclean, he is not to touch anything or will make that unclean. If a person has to leave the kingdom, he will forfeit all he has. If a person has to just go into a 7-day isolation but not out of the kingdom, there is no forfeiture of belongings. The 7-day isolation is for prayer and rehab. There are no long prison terms. They don't work. People come out worse than they went in. If a person has done something that would require long-term separation, then out of the kingdom. If 7 days is determined to not be sufficient, then an additional 7 days. The 7 days is to get people right with God.